because that's where the fight really ended.
Oh yeah, it was touch after that.
After that, even with the
Tega, don't worry, save it.
Yeah,
save
wait,
it.
hold on. Yeah.
Hold on, don't worry. I know we're all excited to talk about this. Lagos, if you're excited too, this is the number to send in your WhatsApp message 0809444091 or get up on Twitter. We are at Smooth91FM. Are we streaming?
Yes, we are. So subscribe to our YouTube channel, Smooth 91 FM Lagos, and you just might catch Tega's wave to her lovely, lovely family members and fans on YouTube.
All
So
right.
please send your messages as well through the live chat option.
Good, great, good. So let's talk wrestling. Olympic qualifiers camp opens in Yenagoa. The Nigerian Wrestling Federation will open camp on Monday, that's today, in Yenagoa for the forthcoming Africa Oceania Olympic qualifiers. The president of the federation, Daniel Igali, made this public in a statement on Saturday in Port Harcourt. A quote here: the qualifiers will take place in Moroccan city El Jadida from 13th to 15th of March. During the camping exercise, the wrestlers will be guided by coach Purity Yaku, Victor Kode, Joe Uziti, and Happiness Burutu. He also said that 10 wrestlers who participated and excelled at the recently concluded Africa Championships in Algiers would be in camp. What are we looking forward to, Tega, on this one?
This is good. So far, I think one of my medal hopefuls for this 2020 Olympics is a wrestler, Odunayo Adekoroyin. She's already qualified. She's the only person that has qualified. So I'm looking forward to the other names that will come up. Blessing Obududu is somebody who does very well on the African continent, but somehow she goes to the world stage and she freezes. So I don't know. I just want to know.
White juju.
I don't know what will happen to her when she gets to the Olympics, but it'll be nice to see her qualify. For me, really, largely, it's the female wrestlers that I'm very hopeful about, more than even the sprints. I'm not even looking forward to more than even the sprints. Is wrestling now. That's my medal hopeful. Wrestling and long jump.
Oh, fun. And funny enough, wrestling is a big sport in Nigeria. We like to watch wrestling.
So wrestling is
no, you're
life
mixing
in Nigeria.
You're mixing the. That's like in Nigeria.
Wrestling is life in
People,
Nigeria.
it's not what Mazino is saying. So don't
You
come out of
literally
your.
have to fight through everything.
You wrestle your way through life.
your way through life, you better be good at it. You might as well just get a medal at it.
But what I like about
WWE, what I'm saying is that we have an appetite for international wrestling competition, so we should actually have.
Well, that one is
homegrown.
acting. But this one,
exactly. We have an appetite for scripted wrestling as well.
but this one is different. But I like what Daniel Igali does. It doesn't matter. Sometimes you think this guy has funds from the ministry just waiting in his back pocket. He will fix it. The only thing that may happen is you would consistently see wrestling either in Port Harcourt or in Yenagoa, because that's areas he has influence, and he can say, we can camp them here. But he will always open camp in time. He will always have the training, and he will try as much as possible to get his team to competitions.
We used to have big names in wrestling from Nigeria.
Then Legali was one of the big names,
go.
And then he became the president of the federation. Fantastic. It was the best thing that, for someone that has a passion for the sport, it's the best thing that's happened to the sport, because he invests personally in wrestling.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, let's move on to the next one. One of the biggest sports stories of the weekend. Tyson Fury declares himself as the king of heavyweight division after defeating Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury announced that, and I quote, "The king has returned."
The Gypsy King.
After he sensationally stopped Deontay Wilder to start his second reign as a world heavyweight champion. The unbeaten 31-year-old floored Wilder twice before the American's corner threw in the towel in the 7th round to confirm Fury as the new WBC heavyweight champion at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas.
Okay, so I'm going to try and start from the most important part, and then we'll get to all the banter. Don't banter here. But basically, so this fight was a little tricky. Before fights, different fighters have an idea of maybe their opponent and what they want to do, and for some reason, Deontay Wilder thought that putting on a little more weight was going to help him contest with Tyson Fury. He's a lot heavier. All of you that have six-pack, they will beat you, man. And maybe that was part of the problem. First of all, he didn't even have beautiful footwork anyway. Then you now add weight that he's not.
Ain't no Beyonce.
You know, and then he now adds weight that he's not really comfortable with. It made a recipe for disaster.
I'll tell you something about that weight. He didn't know what to do with it. Because he's never been hit that hard with all that weight. So when he was hit each time, he had no support.
He didn't know. Look, the weight for him was uncomfortable.
It was the problem.
He never had it. So in the first 2 rounds, you could tell from the way Fury got into, and Fury likes to float and taunt you and do stuff. He didn't really do that a lot in the first 2 rounds. He was getting his punches in. And so he was already getting the punches in. He was looking like this is going to be interesting. When is that knockout punch going to come? It came. The fight may have ended in the 7th round, but it came in the 3rd round. You see that combo where he hit, where Fury hit Wilder in the face first, just above the nose, and then behind the ear. It was that behind the ear that ended the fight.
That was it.
Because when Wilder stood up, if you were watching closely, he had no balance. And this is what I tell you, Papa, ear, kokimboro. People should listen.
Translation,
Ear
please.
is balance. And once the balance happened, once his balance was gone, once his equilibrium was gone, for someone that didn't even have footwork anyway, he obviously did not even have anything to stand on. So from then on out, it was a bloodbath. So everything that Fury did was based on that knockdown in the 3rd round. And I felt, for me, especially with the fact that they have doctors now on the side, the best thing was to end the fight then. Because it was no longer about, because I know Tyson Fury was angry that why did his corner throw in the tall?
Yeah, his words, if you read his mouth, were, why did you do that?
You were gone.
Why'd you do that?
You were gone. So the minute his eardrums, were punctured, that was it. His balance was it, and everything else was a blow to the hospital or a blow to the grave. So it should have ended. So I think for Fury, and then that's why Wilder looked like an amateur compared to Fury. It wasn't that Wilder was a bad boxer. It was that one punch. Remember how Andy Ruiz hit AJ in the head in that first fight, and it looked like it was over.
One of the most memorable moments would be, and I think you're going to see this in pictures, like you see Ali standing over what's his name, is going to be that one picture after he hit him so hard, they both came together and he licked the blood off of his neck.
Oh, that was disgusting.
If you remember during the boxing interviews, he said that I want to taste blood.
You know,
and that was what he was.
He tasted too blood because Wilder did get him. Wilder got him in the back of the head. There was a small bleeding, small cuts, but it was that ear thing. For me, the minute they did not stop the fight, then I was just upset. And I think the best analysis I saw this weekend was LeBron's analysis when he said his eardrum was probably punctured, he was probably concussed. There was no equilibrium. The fight should have ended. These are sportsmen that know. If you watch box, the minute you saw the bleeding in the ear, end it. All this money showed it, and then people were so excited about it. After 3rd round, Fury, let me just tell you, Wilder wasn't fighting. He was surviving.
Yes, exactly.
That's what he was doing.
He was retreating all the way.
So he was not going to deliver anything. Before then, I think there was one judge that had given him more points than Fury, but really on the points count, Fury was leading. But after that 3rd round, it was done. And then let me get into your banter now. Yeah, some people say I saw all kinds of tweets. The first 40 people that he'd beaten were really nobodies. Apart from Ortiz, they were really nobodies. It's nobody that floored AJ.
Tega,
so don't send that kind of tweet.
Tega, or I will. You have a million messages.
This one to your rep.
Read most of them from off of that.
Actually.
This is MI here says Britain is the official home of heavyweight boxing. Wilder fails to make America great again. He has no fury than a gypsy king who wants your belt. That American pie was so savage, says
Emma, you just came to finish us today. All right, so good morning, Mazino. So that I want a body on my record he always talked about was himself. AJ will be laughing in Shagamu, eating as soon with DJ copying on his Give Me a Tyson. When he turned the bronze bomber to a Malian in 3 rounds, no belt gang. Nice one.
Sheriff says, Pop Belly Lo Walode, I don't know, six pack Ojowomo, Adujawomo. I don't know. I'm sorry, man, I messed that up.
Lower Lode, six pack Ojawomo. That means that Pot Belly is in town now. No more
Ayo.
six pack.
So after all the build up to his fight, only Deontay showed up. Wilder was nowhere to be found. The Gypsy King will rule the world of heavyweight boxing for a long time. AJ should please avoid Fury forever. Please.
No, AJ.
Leave AJ. AJ is gonna do some. Emeka from Amor says Fury gave Wilder so much basketballs that Wilder started looking like Lasisi Elenu. The memes are ridiculous, by the way. What I don't get was why Fury was wearing a Nigerian colored mouthguard. Actually, he was. He
Yeah,
actually
people were.
was.
Wasn't you that mentioned that this
No, it wasn't me,
morning?
but I actually saw it. It seemed like I said it said Nigerian. I'm not too sure.
No,
I'm not too sure.
it's guaranteed said Nigeria.
It did it, didn't it? There
So
you
what's
go.
his tie? Is he saying that the next person?
I'm
needs to
coming
do
for you,
it? Yeah.
AJ.
So I don't know. So I don't know what that is, but what's going to happen is now that AJ will know that he's truly from Nigeria.
Aha.
You think you know how these people say we are very diverse in our culture. Efia, you are now going to be fighting a real British guy. They are going
We
to
have to move on. Real Madrid's Hazard to miss City. Barcelona clashes with fibula fracture. Eden Hazard will miss Real Madrid's Championship League game against Manchester City and their El Clasico clash with Barcelona next weekend after suffering a right fibula fracture. The forward limped off after he suffered the injury in the 67th minute of the Madrid's 1-0 defeat to Levante in La Liga on Saturday, a result that left them 2 points behind Barca ahead of their meeting on March 1st. Now, following the test, now this is just a quote, but let's get to it because
we really took time with Wilder.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, so that's big news. Eden Hazard. I mean, a lot of Chelsea fans have been waiting to see him hit it off at Real Madrid because they've been trying to convince me or Tega that the lizard in England is going to become a crocodile in Spain, and I've been waiting to see him become one, but he hasn't done that, and it doesn't make it any better that as soon as he just gets playing time, he picks up an injury. So now he's picked up another injury in a major week for Real Madrid. They have Man City to face in the Champions League, and then they have the El Clasico. So 2 major matches, a big name player, he's missing both. It's just ridiculous. And it's worst time, it's bad timing for them because they were top of the league. They looked like they had the momentum. Then they had the draw the week before, and then on Saturday they had a loss to Levante. And all of a sudden, Barcelona that were struggling for goals and looking for how they will play good football are suddenly at the top of the La Liga table with 2 points. So it will come down again to El Clasico, how they will perform in El Clasico, and they would need all their players, but they don't have that. So sad one.
That's so sad. All right, let's move on very quickly to Syria. Lazio on Juve's heels. Roma back winning in Syria amid coronavirus lockdown. Lazio kept their bid for its first Syria title in 20 years on track as they stayed 1 point behind leaders Juventus with a 3-2 win at Genoa on Sunday.
Yes, the Italian Syria this weekend was interrupted by the coronavirus incidents in Italy. I think they have 152 cases. So even Barcelona that is playing against Napoli, there's still some checks UEFA is trying to do. It's going to affect Ludogorets, who's playing Inter Milan. So there's a lot going on to do that, and because of that, Inter Milan couldn't play. There were other games, Torino, Sassuolo, that was postponed, Cagliari, all those games. But what was important was that Juventus played their game and they won their game, and they now have a 6-point cushion between them and Inter Milan. Lazio is the closest, I think, and Lazio also won their game to make it. It's now looking like a 2-horse race as opposed to a 3-horse race because of the games Inter has in hand. But we hope that they're able to sort out the problems very quickly. And we can move on from there.
All right, Lagos, do stay tuned. We're coming back with some basketballs, and I mean that because it's going to be banter better with Coca-Cola. We'll be right back.
Okay, I wanted you to wait till you come in. No.
Yeah.
Morning, y'all.
Morning, how you doing?
Morning, Mr. Tipsy.
Crazy ass traffic.
But you don't ready so. Because once the match starts, that one means that the football banter, the hot basketballs, go follow starts.
Hey,
Today, not today.
Hey.
Some people club like talking drum, eh? Look who they talk. You them beat your club last week like said they be thief.
You bring us in with all the rules.
All right.
Okay.
I bet you won't make your club carry last.
No leaking of people's blood in this in this banter better with Coca-Cola.
Fresh to banter better.
Be nice.
Banter better with Coca-Cola.
Don't lick people's blood.
And the messages we didn't read for
Oh boy.
That's 27 messages.
studio. Here we go.
All right, Lagos, like Mazino mentioned, it's time for Bass Boots. Here on the Locker Room 981, this segment is brought to you by Coca-Cola, and it is Banter Better with Coca-Cola. Hashtag Banter Better with Coca-Cola. Please, whatever message you send to us on WhatsApp, Twitter, YouTube, make sure you use the hashtag Banter Better with Coca-Cola and be nice.
Be nice.
Yeah, no vulgar words, no insulting words. Just be.
Don't get all Tyson Fury now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now
No
send
licking
your
of blood from the neck.
to 0809 4440981. On Twitter, it's at Smooth981 FN is the hashtag Locker Room 981, and of course hashtag Banter Better with Coca-Cola. On YouTube, we're streaming live. Go to Smooth981 FM Lagos.
So let's get into it. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Mikel Arteta on Arsenal's challenge to keep striker. He said he is our most important player. There's no question about the impact he had on this team. So if I and the club can, we will try to convince him to stay. Continues the quote here. I think it has been tough for him. A player like him has had a lot of disappointments over the last few years because he has big expectations. He wants to play for the biggest club in the biggest tournament and be up there with the best players in the world. We have to try to support him and try to give him everything as a club so that he feels fulfilled here. That is the challenge we have.
Yes, that's a big challenge you have. Move one step further from 10th to 9th. Congratulations, Arsenal. Yeah, moving up.
That didn't sound very.
But
Hold your sarcasm sign up. Let's know next time.
but what it is, but it is true, and with Aubameyang eyeing teams like Barcelona and Real Madrid, where they are actually winning trophies, and he's not getting any younger. So he's thinking about it, that maybe it's time I move now that I can still run and kick ball. I'm supposed to wait until my career is almost over if I made that move. But Arsenal will be doing everything to keep him because he is their key man. You saw that again yesterday when he scored the 2 goals that they needed. Arsenal right now, the team is like a beautiful person with body odor.
Take a one out. First bass coming from you.
I'm tweeting that.
Their attack is very beautiful. Like when you see then their defense is the body odor.
Oh wow!
It's
no longer defense; it's assault. That's what it is. Oh, I forgot to introduce Mr. Tope in the building here. Cole joining us for the basketball session here. Banter Better with Coca-Cola. You're welcome, sir.
Good morning.
Do you have any boost to go with our bass right now?
I don't know any boost that can match that.
I don't think there's any.
I am tweeting
Enough intro.
MVP for the day. We haven't even finished the day. I don't think anybody can match that one, Tega. But yeah, you are mean. All right, now so let's move on.
Okay, let's move on very quickly. We'll have a comment from Twitter. Twitter from I'm King actually. Oge says we bought Hazard to come and compete with Messi, and now he's competing with Dembele in the hospital. Dembele, sorry. Hashtag Banter Better with Coca-Cola.
Bumi here says hashtag Banter Better with Coca-Cola. Please, was it true that Fury sang an anthem for Wilder? Well, he should have asked him to sing along. We're not talking about that now because we get into that. Okay. Felix from Aja.
He says Hazard's injury isn't the issue. It was his miss in the match that was very annoying. The guy's a fraud. Madrid should ask for their money back. Hashtag Banter Better with Coca-Cola.
Miss is not just one, yeah.
All right, let's move on. Frank Lampard says VAR excuse not good enough after Giovanni Lo Celso avoids red card. Everybody knew they'd made a mistake, he said. We obviously have the monitor and can view it. I was waiting for the red card to be shown, not with real pleasure, because it's just a tackle which endangers a player.
I mean, it's not the first time that VAR will make a mistake.
EPL VAR.
EPL VAR particularly, yes. They made a mistake and will now come and apologize after the game for a mistake that they made, which they shouldn't have made because they had all the replays to go through. But they came up with a very, very weird reason saying that Lo Celso had nowhere to place his leg.
How about he hangs it in the air?
Right now? So you have to place it on. So if it was his head, if it was the player's head that was beneath his head, that's how he would have stamped on it. I mean, very ridiculous. And if I'm the club side, I wouldn't even though there's nothing I can do, but I wouldn't accept that apology. It's like injury after salt
Really?
after injury.
Okay, so we will not.
But
offend you.
what was impressive again? Lampard doing the double over over Tottenham Hotspur. Really, I didn't see where Tottenham Hotspur were going to get the goal from, because particularly of their midfield, not necessarily. Because of their midfield was going to emphasize the loss of Son and Harry Kane. Because if you wanted Lucas Moura to score a goal, he'd be playing. He should be playing in on the shoulder of the last man and just in and around the 18-yard box. But because there is no Ericsson, nobody to create for him.
Particularly.
Yeah, so he needs to drop in deep to get the ball. By the time he runs and he dribbles two defenders, he doesn't have any power to shoot the ball in the back of the net. So for me, I wasn't shocked that they didn't win the game. I think I was a little even impressed that they got a goal, even if it was an own goal. But congratulations to Chelsea.
And he refused to use Dele Alli,
No.
probably because he did not do well.
Yeah,
in the
you
Europa
sit on,
League.
the bench.
Champions
Sit
League.
on. The next time I bench you and you throw a tantrum, you sit in the locker room.
That's
Am I-
very
Not
good.
this locker room. We don't have space here.
Emma from Akuka, yes, says hashtag banter better with Coca-Cola. At halftime, I don't already go boil water to eat the usual draw soup with, but Abu, you know who he is, had other ideas. Tega, I see your sarcasm. Who provided an assist? He asks.
Nice one. Hashtag banter better for Coca-Cola. Ugo says, I have zero sympathy for Aubameyang. Better clubs full everywhere. Better clubs full everywhere. He carried himself to Arsenal to be scoring 30 goals per season to end up 9th on the log. What a waste. Hashtag banter better with Coca-Cola.
Ugo, be nice, be nice.
Shay here from Mushin area says hashtag banter better with Coca-Cola. This is Shay. Take a Tyson Fury. Oh, are we doing Tyson Fury right now? Are we doing football? Yeah, let's keep it on football, okay? Thank you very much. However, 0809444091.
Well, he talked about Eden Hazard though. He
Oh,
said
okay.
Eden Hazard has hidden hazard in his ankle.
Ooh.
Has entered one chance near Mushin area. Nice one.
I
Shay.
didn't see that. Nice. All right, now moving on. Fernandez said, this is the day every player wants to have. The headline, it was a dream to score at Old Trafford. He said, I feel very lucky to score. Everyone knows we want to get into the Champions League place. I'm here to help the team conquer this place and keep winning games. It's what I want to do. It's what I need to do. Is what he said.
Yes, Fernandez has arguably been their best player since he signed for Manchester United, and his first goal at home, he would have been very, very delighted to do so. I just wish that Igalo also could do the same, because he would have scored a brilliant goal when he went around the goalkeeper. But
Thank you.
unfortunately, it
Angle
wasn't
was
his
too,
day.
yeah, most of the
But
time.
Manchester United were brilliant in that game. And yes, probably kudos also to McTominay, who's now back from injury.
Yeah, but Bruno Fernandes, for me, I was afraid when they got the penalty and he placed it on the spot, because penalty is not as guaranteed as it used to be. Forget that Cristiano Ronaldo is scoring penalty now. It's not easy. You know how many penalties have been saved and many have been.
Yeah.
So when he put that place that ball on the spot, I said, guy, you shouldn't be taking your first shot at goal shouldn't be this penalty. If you miss it, it will hang over your head for the rest of your life. But he did brilliantly. He scored it, and that's it.
He took a Jorginho penalty,
he took
because
it.
that particular run, nobody plays it like that. Only he and Jorginho so far.
So congratulations to him. He's looking like the new boy now. Boba, how far market?
All right, so we have on YouTube that Kodri says, so Lampard is the new juvenile coach and is the first to do a league double against Jose Mourinho. Bring on Bayern, he says. Dayo Adeniran says, hashtag banter better with Coca-Cola. Chelsea, Manchester United and Tottenham, we Arsenal shall lick your blood as we are taking that Champions League spot.
See what
The
you
sad
did there.
part is Madrid, Barcelona will come for him. And then Uloko of John says,
He says he's talking about Fury here. Yeah, let's keep it football this time. Dyer, however, says hashtag banter better with Coca-Cola. It'll be a beauty to see Arsenal back into the Champions League. Saka, please stay with us. Abu, don't leave us. Arsenal will definitely, in caps, and nick a UCL spot looking down on Spurs.
yeah, okay.
Okay.
Now let's
Man,
talk
boy.
about a team that's definitely going to the UCL. Jurgen Klopp acknowledges Liverpool's status as one of the world's best. He said, this thing with the best team in the world, I don't really get it. He said this ahead of Monday's visit to West Ham. That's today. It's nice when people say it. It's better than if they say you're the worst team in the world, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. Then he goes on to say, but I think Liverpool is a top. That means you are the best in the world, Nolly. What's top? Why are you mentioning several tops before you put your team? there's not really no humility in sports. I've told people all these ones that do they say you should be humble. There's no humility in sports. You won't win if you're too humble. But what it is that Liverpool are right now the team of the moment. So everything seems to be working together from there. From 2 seasons ago, when they played in the final in the Champions League and lost, and then came back and won it. They have momentum now. They have the confidence now. Everything is looking good and sharp. And I understand when he says if you're mentioning other best teams, you have to think of Barcelona of some seasons ago and Manchester City of some seasons ago, because those teams also had their time, and this is Liverpool's time. But what he shouldn't do is get too carried away. First of all, I know, again, himself, just like myself, have the belief that they can overturn that Atletico Madrid 1-0 win at Anfield. I'm not even confident that Atletico will do anything spectacular. But it is going further in the Champions League that may be a bit shaky. But for the Premier League, they have that one on lockdown. Today against West Ham, it's a question of how many goals can we score.
Oh, wow.
And it'll probably get worse because they are even playing. Man City are not going to play in the English Premier League because they have a final to play against Aston Villa. So they are playing 3 matches before Man City play. So the gap is just going to open
like goodness.
Yeah. 3-3, like 6, like 30 points before Man City. Look, that English Premier League is done. And the more they win in that Premier League, the more confidence they build.
Yes, absolutely.
And they can take that to Europe and sweep everywhere.
All right, but Zizi Classic says #banter better Coca-Cola. The way Real Madrid is going down these days, I'll not be surprised if they discover crude oil at Santiago Bernabeu Stadium.
That was brilliant.
And then we have here that from Ridwan saying that King Leo Messi is scoring 4 goals, Arsenal winning, and Chris Brown creating 2 goals on his Barcelona's debut. What a sweet weekend.
Okay.
#banter better Coca-Cola. Chimobi Victor.
All right. Chimobi Victor here says, one thing is certain. I know Asisa Oshola will score more goals than Antonio Griezmann this season, while for Bruno Chukwuemeka Fernandez is Manchester United the Messiah. #banter better with Coca-Cola. Oyewale here says, #banter better with Coca-Cola. Have you noticed Spurs have become brutal since the special one became manager, or since the special one became manager? Well, yeah. #banter better with Coca-Cola. Someone said Tyson. No, we're not doing Tyson. I know we all want to talk about that.
Yes, we do. On YouTube, Oko Raymond says, #banter better with Coca-Cola. Eden Hazard is becoming a hazard to Real Madrid's title dream. Names affect people, and you should try using another name like, good luck or favor. Okay, then we have from MI again. MI on fire says, so because Ainde Marshall had a great game, United fans are comparing him to Thierry Henry. Now waiting Tega no go see for locker room. With Coca-Cola. And then Big T from Lagos says, Arsenal, just prepare yourself. Uncle Abu will leave Draw Soup FC for sure. On Hazard, don't blame him. You buy a guy to play for you when his name has told you already that he is trouble. #banter better with Coca-Cola.
Have we read this one now? Arsenal are back on top because we are going to finish in the top 4, while for Liverpool and his lad, they shouldn't be carried away, and for Real Madrid, they should just shock Tega with that defeat. #banter better with Coca-Cola. That's Chimobi Victor.
All right, final comment here we have from Shei saying, #banter better with Coca-Cola. It's Tega, please tell Igalo to come out of the gallo and begin to score any slightest chance and score with his ear, even if the ear is bleeding.
They just want to bring that back into football, don't they? It's all good. Great banter here. Thank you very much, Lagos. But that's as much that we can take on the show. Thank you very much, Tega. Thank you very much, Cole. Always a pleasure to have you guys here. And Lagos, always a pleasure to have you on the other side, sending in these bass boosts. We've been liking it. Thank you very much. Do stay tuned. Coming up inside the final hour here, the 9 o'clock hour will be Lagos Talks. We'll talk about one of the topics which we analyzed inside of Freshly Pressed from before. Do stay tuned. I didn't get what you were trying to say.
Well, I was saying that most of the previous